So do you think, I don't know if you can see the monitor, but we're splitting the screen with some of the riotous behavior yesterday and the day before. Do you think they want this? Do you think this benefits them politically?
It absolutely does. This is what their base is all about, this extreme left base that is anti-police. You have Chuck Schumer, who's never had a job outside of politics in his entire adult life for 40 years, that just believes in this continued political theater, and they're stirring the pot, as I would say. And this right here is what's causing us to have to make decisions on prioritizing where we put federal officers. We called local police, we called state police multiple times. Listen, I know the law enforcement there would love to respond because of Governor Sherrill's behavior and what the governor is doing. He's not allowing public officers and state officers to respond. So since they won't respond and help protect the streets, because we're not saying protect our building, we're saying protect the streets, allow our employees to go in and out, allow these transfers to happen. If they're not allowing it, then we got to prioritize federal police officers, and that may affect international flights coming in and out of their airport, because I'm going to have to pull Customs and Border Protection officers out of being able to process international flights and put them helping our ICE agents. And by the way, if you can't process international flights because Customs is closed, you can't obviously process international flights coming in from out of the country.
So, Mr. Secretary, you just bring me to the next topic, is that you presented this yesterday.
Right.
You're drawing up plans to halt international flights to anywhere the sanctuary cities, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. So no more international flights to those airports?
No, I wouldn't say all of them. I'm saying when we have situations, what's happening in New Jersey right now, when we have to prioritize where we put federal employees because local law enforcement won't help protect their streets, not federal streets, city streets, and keep them from barricading and causing harm to our employees, then we have to decide where we're going to prioritize our federal employees. So we're not going to halt the flights. What we're saying is we just won't be able to process them because we don't have officers there. We're having to pull out our Customs and Border Patrol officers that process these flights and put them in these facilities to help protect our employees coming out of work. By the way, and that's not their job. Their job is to do just what they said, Customs and Border Protection. However, since local law enforcement isn't able to do their job because they said, quote, they don't have the resources, well, we have to prioritize our resources as well. And if they're not there processing international flights, then those individuals, when the airlines land, they won't be permitted into the United States.
So that's Newark, and there's an airport in Newark. Do you see you having to take resources immediately? And that could have...
If things, yeah, that's right, Brian. If things don't change, we're going to have to make this step pretty quick, because I'm not going to put my employees and my ICE agents at risk going to and from this, simply doing the job. By the way, they're doing the job and enforcing the laws that are statutory. If Congress wants to change those, if these left radical Democrats want to change it, they have the authority to change it. Right now, we don't make the laws. We simply enforce the laws that's on the books.
So, on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. We have so many things going on right now. The deep state is very heavily showing their hand, and they have to. Their days, they either have to win or they're going to die. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They are literally in a do or die moment. We've got huge information coming out. This Disclosure movie, I think, is a big deal. And by the way, I kind of want to get a thumbs up from you guys. And I want to get, if you're one of these people that never does a thumbs up, here's what I'm proposing. Here's what I'm wondering. Because I'll see a spike in thumbs ups. If I see there's a bunch of extra thumbs ups on this one video, I'll know that you guys actually want me to talk about this. But Tuesday, I was debating on talking about something that I know for fact about myself. I've frequently said I'm not from here, human meat suit, but I'd love to deepen into that, and there's a very significant concept, and I think it even might kind of explain some of the clones, maybe. I don't know. Something, a weird tie-in that kind of hit me this morning. I was like, I wonder if that's what it is. So I think that is what's going on. Hit a thumbs up if you don't mind. That'll help that out. Also, subscribe if you haven't already, please. And wherever you're watching me, I highly recommend at least making sure you've got me as a backup on Rumble. So go to rumble.com/C/on the Fringe. That's my channel. Make sure you've got me subscribed there, please, too, also, or at least you bookmarked or something. So if for some chance I piss off the Google gods again, then we'll have a place to find me. It's always tough. It's one of the worst parts. So Trump dismisses Delaney Hall protesters as paid amid growing scrutiny of this ICE detention. He goes, these aren't protesters. These are paid. These people are fake. They're all paid for. And that's what he was basically saying. I think I have this open, maybe? No, it wasn't what I thought it was. That said, kind of a trip. And so Trump is calling out the fact that these protesters are in New Jersey, are paid. And this is part of this fakery that the deep state does. The fakery is everything's okay, but then like in real life, it's not. Like behind the scenes, they're doing crazy stuff, but what they present to you is a human form, if you will. And I'm kind of tongue-in-cheeking a little bit on that because there is this disclosure right now. There is this huge push of the 4 different races that they're talking about. But there's this huge push with Burchett and Luna talking about what they're hearing. Anybody that's been following UFOs for any period of time in their life, there is awesome sums of stories. And one of the things, like movies, don't like movies, think they're all things. I mean, they're doing the one eye thing on this. They're even covering one eye in some cases. So whatever, right? Whatever. And I think to some degree, I think it's the right eye that's I think being shown. No, I want to say it was the one that was covered. Anyway, I might be wrong on that. Whatever the case is, we'll figure out more about it. But I almost wonder if it's a thing back at them. But there's a lot of studies and stories around him and his experience, something that he probably witnessed directly. And everyone says that's really what Close Encounters was based off of. Then E.T. was basically the same story, just sort of more an in-depth part of the story that they really stayed away from on the first movie. Super 8 he produced, or was an executive producer or something. That's an incredible movie, by the way. There's a number of movies that have really been done by this guy that are phenomenal. I think Independence Day he was involved with, which really takes me back to when I started my hardcore spiritual path. That's actually when I had a teacher. And not that they ever listen or would know who I am anymore, but I will never forget Nancy, Becky, and Andrea. You guys were amazing. Changed my life, like forever. Changed my life. And so it's crazy. But here's Spielberg talking about the mind space, and then we're going to play the trailer. He's got the last trailer. It's pretty cool. And the mind space is just... A lot of us can't handle the truth when it comes to any of the stuff that's actually going on this planet and the history of this planet and the freaking lies they've told us, especially in our spirituality. It's going to be tough.
But this movie is much more like the reality that we all experience today. I don't make a lot of contemporary movies about today. I've done a lot of period films. I've done Minority Report, takes place in the future, as does Ready Player One. I don't settle on the present very often, but we needed the present tense. That was the essential part of our creating, hopefully, a belief system that the audience will say, "Oh my God, this is here. This is happening."
And again, he's supposedly witnessed stuff. This movie, you can hate me for liking it. You can, Dan, it's all that bullshit. I got you. But every once in a while, a good movie comes out. This reminds me of Independence Day. It's coming out at a similar time of year. This is the 250th anniversary, and I do believe there's another crazy movie coming out in like a month. I can't remember what the hell it is. But anywho, incredible detail, incredible. They're selling the hell out of this, something that everybody's talking about in Congress. You can't handle the truth, is what I keep hearing in my head.
I can see them.
I am much more inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters to really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth.
This is a story about us. All of us.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
what's happening to me. I'm frightened. I'm frightened out of my wits.
You don't need to be. You have someone else.
Daniel Kellner,
Who is this?
do not go back to the house. They found you. I don't know who you are, but they're gonna kill you.
The human race cannot accept what we know. We need to stop it any way we can.
What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
This 79-year cover-up of the truth has to end.
We're interrupting our coverage.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves.
The only way to know your purpose is to go back to where it all began.
I know you.
I know you do. What happened to us?
I used to say to myself, wouldn't it be wonderful if all of this turned out to be true? I'm now thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful for people to know
They're coming.
all of this is true?
Disclosure Day.
Yeah, it's just super gnarly. That's all I can say. Holy crap. That's going to be exciting. So, yeah, Donald Trump, by the way, they've been trolling us hardcore, it seems. Aliens.gov. Everybody was talking about how they came up with that site, right? They were like, they got aliens.gov. This is for the UFO disclosure. Again, they were wrong. But, I mean, he had us leaning intentionally. This was always a tongue-in-cheek. He's been trolling us the whole friggin' time. And we all fell for it. That's how gullible we are. Right. So, alien? Like, what are they trying to tell us, they say? Well, when we go to their lead site here, whitehouse.gov/aliens, they walk among us. For 60 years, the U.S. government has kept a closely guarded secret. Aliens have been walking among us, living in our neighborhoods, and interacting with us in our daily lives. They've shopped in the same stores, attended the same classes as our children, and lived seemingly normal human existences, with one exception. They do not belong here. Millions arrived under the cover of darkness and embedded themselves directly into our society. Countless presidents, congressmen, and senior officials knew exactly what was happening. Instead of protecting American citizens, they chose to cover it up and even accelerate the invasion, until one man finally had the courage to tell the truth. Bold, unapologetic, unafraid. President Trump was the first to call out the real danger aliens pose to every American family, every community, and the future of our nation. The truth is no longer out there. It is right here, right now. I love Trump. He is awesome as hell. What is this? Oh, we got a countdown to something. That's a long-ass time. What is it, seconds? Oh, shit. Nah, it's counting up. What the hell? Oh, this is encounters? Anywho, crazy stuff going on, guys. Aliens arrest. Oh, that's what it is. They're counting how many aliens they've arrested. That's right. I forgot to tell you what the point of this site has become. Yeah, they're keeping track of how many illegal alien arrests have occurred. And right now, we've got a running tally of 3.1 million and climbing rather quickly. I wish my subscribe numbers, did I mention subscribe? I wish they went up that fast. That'd be fantastic. That'd be cool as hell. Huh? Guys, I'm going to say crude oil's down, 86.56. There's a tentative deal right before going into recording. Trump's going to now announce it at some point probably, but if we'll see. Because it takes forever for the message to get back to the Iranian leadership, which is apparently why they're Now it's the Gay of Hormuz. But anyway, oil's down 86. It's pretty good. It's sitting. It's down $2, but that's making a big difference in the big picture. Gold and silver up. They're finally starting to show the numbers they should start to show, at least positive movements. Stocks all started strong today too. The futures were up pretty big when I was looking in the morning, but I hadn't looked at this since the markets went live. Yeah, Dow's up a bunch. That fits. So it's up over 51 now. I don't know if it's quite a new record, but it's right there at record levels. It looks like NASDAQ is real close to where its record was. So everything's kind of heading in a pretty sweet direction when peace is a possibility. This is the beautiful time to think about getting the hell out of the deep states system. We are going to have to get sound money at some point, and that is going to be treasury notes backed by precious metals. I almost kind of wonder if that $250 bill might be something weird like that, but that would be such a weird denomination to do that with, so who knows? Who knows what they're doing? It could be a lot of other things, and we will talk about that. That's going to come up. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. These guys are the best. They get attacked because they're the best. They got the best customer service. They've got the most number of suppliers available to them, and they are just incredible to deal with. You're going to be amazed, frankly. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, think about moving that money out, and here's why. Okay, cash is something that because of inflation, you're losing buying power. I'll do the quick example that I always do. Back in 1915, one gold piece cost you $30, right? $30 in this hand, one gold piece. Bring this to, this would buy me a handmade tailored suit, $30, handmade tailored suit, right? Either way, I could get a handmade tailored suit. Bring that money to today, one gold piece, handmade tailored suit. It's worth about $4,600-ish, almost. $30, I don't know, Chipotle. That's it. That's buying power. This holds the buying power. You're not going to get rich. I can't buy two suits. I can only buy one suit. But it protected me through the inflation. Right now, your stock money's not. Silver's supposed to spike a lot, so that's one of the things that a lot of people kind of have a little bit of you got a little extra money in that one. Right now, it's sitting at 75, even if they sold it to you much over spot, which they sometimes how things work out wherever you get it. It's never easy, especially if it's high quality metals. Like this right here is a regular polished coin. This is actually high quality. This is worth way more than spot, right? I mean, that's just, it is. So you pay more sometimes, depending on what you're getting. The bars, cheaper. And again, there's that loose change. That's like 60%, so that's totally different altogether. All that said, this is stuff you don't necessarily care about, but it is fun when you get into this world a little bit. They can help you get out of that 401k IRA, tax-free, penalty-free. You move the money sideways. You don't get to touch it. If you touch it, it's not good. That's where you get hosed. Okay, don't do it. Get as much precious metals as you can. They're going to give you up to 10% free gold or silver, or both. Mix it up, right? Say you do $100,000 from your 401k, and they're going to offer you up $10,000 of free gold or silver. Maybe you're like, all right, I want $5,000 in gold and $5,000 in silver, or whatever, however you want to mix it up. And that is your option. I believe those can be sent to you, though it is considered income, so you would have to pay, but I don't think it comes out of your IRA. Depends. You can ask those questions. I'm not an expert. That said, if you actually have a legit policy and you put in your 4 data points and you hit the button, a pop-up's going to come up and gives you like 20 minutes to call a phone number. If you can call that number in that time frame, you can ask, hey, I heard you something about 5 grams of silver for free, Dan said. And there you go. Little Dan sent you present there. Go to DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Let my friends help you out. Save that buying power. You're going to need it, and you can transition it into treasury money most likely down the road. We're assuming it's going to be backed by precious metals at least. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Make that first step in protecting your wealth, and you will definitely be stoked because we're going to see the prices of gold and silver spike. When the Fed gets hacked, it's going to be, well, I'm not saying hacked, chopped, blocked. 86th. We're going to use that term. When that happens, yeah, it's going to be a little bit down the road, and some stuff's got to kind of happen beforehand. So I think we'll have an idea when it does start to happen, and I think that's going to start to cause some panic. All that said, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer claims she's not running for president. Gretchen is such a witch name. I don't know what it is. I feel like a lot of witches have been named Gretchen. Am I wrong on that? It just seems like a witch name. Gretchen, like fudge. Anyways, she dropped out. Folks, this is us. I don't care what she thinks, but this is us. We're doing this. That she doesn't have the funding. Well, and their money's dried up. They can't afford all. That's one of the things they used to also do is they'd kind of throw a lot of people at us and it would just dissolve out the vote. And then people would back out last minute or whatever. Crazy how they did it. Oops. They hate us. Oh, this is going to be a fun section. This is why I put this after the advertisement. AG Todd Blanche. He confirms politicians are on the table for being criminally indicted if they were negligent about the fraud. Yeah, they're getting very serious about busting maybe somebody like 11 Han Omar or maybe even Walsh. Tim Walsh? Walsh? Isn't it Walsh? I don't even, I've already forgotten the dude's name. That's how unimportant he is. Holy crap. Anyway, check this out.
Is not enough of a form of accountability for the people out there that are having thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars stolen from them through fraud.
Yes, that's right. So here's how we talk about accountability. We talk about arrests, we talk about prosecutions, we talk about jail sentences, and that's what we're doing at the Department of Justice. We're working with Inspector Generals, FBI, DHS, and HSI agents, and just a few examples. A jury convicted a Florida man of over $8 billion in Medicare fraud just last week. There was a man sentenced in Minnesota to 41 years in prison for fraud. And these are these cases are fraud of the worst kind. Fraud against our most needy, or the people who deserve the money the most. Children who need money for their lunches when they're at school. Elderly who are having all kinds of medical procedures done in their name when they're not even asking for them. And this is money coming from the federal government. It's your tax dollars. It's my tax dollars. The only way we can hold them accountable is by putting them in jail.
Does that include politicians? Well, I know that we're in the investigative process, and I know that your answer to me probably will be you need to let the investigation play out. But if this lands, and can be proven, that politicians were in some way culpable, overseeing it, negligent in some way, political accountability just isn't enough for the American people.
That's consistent with the president's absolute directive to his Department of Justice. It does not matter if you're a politician or if you're a fraudster from Somalia. We cannot tolerate it. And Governor Walz is a great example. He has done nothing but sue us. Okay, sue the Department of Justice for trying to get records to understand the fraud happening in his state. Okay, so that is his reaction to us trying to save the government's money and recover against fraudsters, is filing lawsuits against us.
And what's been the reaction of California?
They hate us. Again, that is throughout this. Now, you're going to see positive things coming through it, all of it, but it's in relation to the hatred they have of us. Now, remember, again, a lot of their money's dried up, and they're going to have a hard time here, and they're definitely getting desperate, and desperate people do crazy stuff. So this is going to be one of the most contentious elections. I don't think they're going to have any oomph left in them come the next big election. I just don't think they're going to have it, because I think billionaires that are currently against Trump aren't going to last 2 more years that way. I just don't think that's going to happen. Things are going to move much faster than that. Anybody on the outside is going to be destroyed. Now, right now, I'm seeing a lot of people that can't let go of certain individuals. They are making up counter stories for them. Well, they're obviously doing this as intentionally. They're showing themselves as the other side. Like Marjorie Trader Greene, for example. There's people that are like, no, and then eventually she's going to come back over to our side like Ron DeSantis did during the election. The thing that people aren't being fair about in that, especially in the Ron DeSantis example, Ron DeSantis never attacked Trump personally. Yes, it was always known that he was doing this just to pull votes away. It was never about being a dick to Trump. Marjorie Trader Greene, Candace, all these other people have done damage. I'm not going to vote. They've done damage. And anybody, I think, making excuses for him. I'm not saying I'm right, but I ain't making excuses for anybody. That's where I kind of trip out a little bit. I've been having this whole morning. I've been like, there's so many weird things going on right now, and all this stuff. That's why it got me thinking about the Tuesday thing again. Thumbs up if you guys seriously want me to talk about, because I don't like talking about myself. I certainly don't like talking about this, because I kind of think it's like my secret. I'm not trying to be overly stupid about it either, but it's just I kind of feel like that. I'd rather not talk about it. But I don't know if I definitely know of it, and I am willing to speak about my weirdness and what I understand it to be, and my friend Nancy was part of that help. And it just confirmed what I already knew. So, again, hit the thumbs up if you guys want to see me talk about it on the Tuesday show, my Hot Topics show. Again, unless something crazy comes up in the news, and then I'll work it in anyways, or I'll work it in with other stuff. But might be fun, and it might be worth taking some phone calls, too, on that one. We had some fun. It seemed like a few people were starting to figure out how to do that. And so, again, the show's a lot of fun. So, again, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Appreciate all that. Now, again, all of this has to do with the fact that we are winning the battle bigly, as Trump has said. But we also have a problem where we've got a whole lot of people that are never going to believe what we say because the media keeps telling them other than that. Now, again, this is not the battle we need to have. Don't worry about that. You're sort of the net to catch them when they fall, right? Like you're the one standing behind them when they finally like realize, crap, yeah, they're gonna need soft hands, if you will. Hopefully, not ones that instantly grope like I would want to. I can't help myself. I mean, I don't go like trying to do it, but you know, if someone just falls into my arms and I somehow catch some side boob on the hand, just see. Anywho.
Now we'll audit all 50 American states looking for potentially massive fraud in the billing of autism treatment. This is happening now amid a recent explosion in spending on autism services. North Carolina alone apparently saw an 11,000% increase in the last 4 years. Why was that? Good question for Alexandria Hoff, live in D.C. Alex, hello. Good morning.
Hey, Bill, yeah, it is a good question because according to that data coming out of North Carolina, the use of taxpayer-funded autism services is significantly outpacing the number of children being diagnosed. So something's not right there, and it's not just in the Tar Heel State. A recent analysis by the Cato Institute found that in 5 years, Medicaid billing has surged in every other state that makes their data public for money spent on ABA therapy. It's applied behavior analysis, that's what it's called. For reference, Minnesota's ABA spending increased by about 51,000% since 2018. We all know what happened there. President Trump spoke on that yesterday.
You saw that with millions of dollars just being stolen. Everybody had autism. Everybody had autism. They said. It was incredible, actually. And I've just seen I see what they're doing. You haven't seen anything yet.
You know, it's not necessarily malice everywhere. That hasn't been proven yet. ABA therapy is considered a critical resource for children diagnosed with autism, but given its complicated billing structure, incentive to overbill, an influx of private equity-backed providers into that space, it's really being looked at like a gold rush. Audits so far by HHS's Office of Inspector General has uncovered $198 million in improper payments made in just 4 states, $410 million incorrectly billed. And examining this really depends on each state's ability to organize and analyze its own spending. That's why HHS is now deploying AI tools to double check that oversight and try to root out any possible fraud, Bill.
Okay.
What is the huge question to everybody, should be anyways, is why the hell don't even Democrats want to fix this? Why would you want fraud in systems that are for the public good, right? If there's people fraud, it's the same thing with votes, though that's a harder sell on them. I get it, kind of. But why would you be okay with giving money to people that shouldn't be getting it? Period. Paying Social Security money to people that are dead. There's no way 150-year-olds running around getting Social Security payments, but there are people cashing the checks. They're going into an account and someone's getting it. Who? Who's been stealing Social Security numbers of old people that are dead? Who did a racket there? Now, I'm sure I hope the FBI or Treasury or one of the two, both, are looking into it. Because obviously you're going to see there's got to be a few rackets going on where they're like buying these things or tricking them out of people or finding them or whatever. Why don't they want to fix it? Think about how much money we're wasting on this. It just blows my mind. Scott Bessent gets a funny-ass question. And his answer is precious, but at the same time, I think Newsom's going to still be allowed to keep doing what he wants to be able to do. Man, if you're somebody that's a J6er, and if you own a home, I think that's the only way you got roots here. But if you don't own a home, I would desperately try to get out. And then what I would do, and I'm not giving advice, but this is probably what I would do once I got out of the state, because California will still chase you down. But then you get the check from the government, and then California is going to try to tax you for it anyway because you lived in their state at the time of the infraction, even though not when the payment happened. And then I just would basically tell them to pound sand and let them sue you or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have the power. California definitely oversteps their bounds. Needless to say, Gavin Newsom's one of the biggest douches on the planet, and he fucking hates us.
Thanks, sir. Governor Gavin Newsom has floated this idea of a 100% state tax on Californians who receive money from President Trump's anti-weaponization fund. Your response to the governor's call for 100%?
There's no cure for stupid. Okay. Thank you all.
I love that dude, man. Like, I do. There's dadgummit. He is there's no cure for stupid. And he's already admitted he's stupid. So yeah, him and Trump, man, because they're both genius people. Scott Bessent is a fargan genius. He's a brilliant man. I love him. I love him.
And then you bring a bill like this that would say, if you are an illegal immigrant, we are going to give you a lighter sentence so you don't get deported. Is that not a two-tiered system in this country? Is that not offensive to all of the American citizens? And I'm simply just asking them to consider the American citizen. Why would you give somebody who the first thing they did to this country was break the law? The second thing they did to stay in this country was to break the law. And now you want to make laws lighter on them. It's the issue that we have in this state is that our laws truly aren't laws. When you have sanctuary policies, when you have different laws here, they become suggestions. And we as lawmakers, if we all want this subjective interpretation of the law, then why should anybody listen to a legislator in the state of California if you don't want to listen to the laws that are put on the books from Congress? If you wanted to change the law, there is a process to do so, but that's not what they want. They want people to openly break the law and then also listen to their laws that they want to put in place.
Now, to be honest and to try to factor in the big picture, because I think most of us know that the republic needs to stand, the corporation needs to fall. And I think what we're seeing is the failure of the biggest pieces of the corporation. New York and California, huge economies, huge amounts of money come through these two states. Huge amounts of money. We're both bankrupt beyond repair. And the federal government, Trump, Treasury, whoever, they're not giving us any money. They're not buying us out. We're going to BK. Now, does the whole country BK? Does the corporation shut down and Trump then hands off to the new because then he can serve another term anyway? So everyone's worried about shit that's so far away right now. So far away. Focus on the task at hand. Focus on what you've got in your hand at this moment. Do not look at what's way the hell down there because, frankly, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but you're not helping at all. Unless you're making plans. I like that. The manifesting stuff that's going to help us along the way. That might be cool. All right. If you're a future thinker, sure. But ultimately, reality is where it's at. Open your front door. What's going on? Fix that. Be involved with that. That is part of you. We are hated. We are the change. Especially most of you guys. A lot of you guys came here too to experience and help. Hold a flashlight. Get your own flashlight. Put your name on it. It's pretty cool. Clinton judge temporarily blocks Trump's $1.8 billion compensation fund for victims of wrongful DOJ prosecutions. We got a judge literally that is stopping Trump from being able to do this, to being able to move forward and creating the paperwork and the bullshit. Which is fine for anybody that lives in California that might get some of this compensation. If you seriously want to get it, I don't know how much it's going to be. It's not like you're going to get, they're not going to give you millions of dollars or something so you'll live happily forever. No. They'll probably help pay for any legal crap or whatever. Might give you an extra little stipend for something to help move. But all said, I would consider getting the F out of California if I were you. If any of you guys live in California, get out. Get out. Get down, guy. Socialist candidate for mayor of Los Angeles complains after activists set up a homeless encampment. It's not even a real homeless encampment. But she's like, my children had to see that. I can't. I'm not going to play her stupid minute with this. Again, I don't have a problem if you're gay. Scott Bessent's gay. Scott Bessent's a cool gay. He's like an awesome gay. Who's that other one? The dude that was in charge of the Kennedy Center. That guy. He's super cool and he's gay. I like that guy. These guys are all awesome, right? This guy, I don't know. He's got the weird gay vibe coming to me, and he's talking to Rashida Tlaib, the minimum ramen. Not good ramen. What's the one I like, guys? What's the one? What's the best? Shin Black. Just making sure you still remembered. Bone broth, specifically. Try it if you've never tried it. I'm telling you, ramen's not the healthiest thing to eat. It's only about 900 milligrams of sodium. So if you're a low sodium diet, no, stay away. So Democrats, they booed city councilwoman, though. We're going to play this because this is fun.
I mean, it's like, I don't think a kid's going to be safer because a tent is 500 feet away from a school. You know, it just doesn't.
She wasn't even born in this country, by the way, so she's like, whatever, and she rolls her eyes. She got booed in Los Angeles. There is potentially a change happening in Los Angeles. We're either going to crash and burn because of the socialist progressive agenda, or enough of us will grab control of the frickin' car and save our lives. Again, I don't know, maybe we're supposed to crash and burn. We're going to find out. We're going to go through it. I'm helping, and I honestly think there's a chance, certainly for Pratt. I think there's actually a chance for him. I think they're freaked out, but I actually think people are kind of motivated to vote. They dislike douche holes like her. She's more like the nozzle, frankly. She's a douche nozzle. It's worse. Yeah, and it is. Yeah. Anyway, I was going to throw open my mouth a little bit. Pratt was on Gutfield. I actually wished I could have had the segment. I don't know how long, if he was on the whole show or what. It must have been. But they got like 3 little segments. I think they're pretty cool. So we're going to play. I'm going to play them back to back to back. But they're, just 3 cool little moments of Pratt. I love this dude. He's real. He doesn't want to be a politician. Like, if I ever have to run, I'm going to run like him because he's independent basically too. I mean, he's registered Republican, but he's like, we don't have to register here. So I'd be like, maybe. All right. I mean, as long as I don't have to become a Democrat or Republican because I don't want to be. Anywho, I like this guy. We'll see if he wins. If he doesn't, man, I'm never going to touch it. I wouldn't want to do it, that's for sure. I would not want the job. Check it out.
This is my favorite thing the internet says. They're like, he's so big on the internet, but is he big in the streets? Yes, the people I'm surging with are the people having to step over the naked drug addicts and step into human poop to get their $20 matcha. Yeah. Those are the people that I'm surging with. The moms across Los Angeles who have to use their strollers around fentanyl, needles, and naked drug addict zombies with machetes that maybe will chop a limb off. I keep getting asked, what politicians do you look up to? Who do you like? I'm like, I hate these people. Like, what are you talking about? These people let my house and my mom's house burn down. They are just, I called Mayor Bass on the debate an incredible liar, but she's actually a terrible liar. She's just incredible at how much she does it.
Yeah, you know? She's volume, not quality.
I don't know.
Her confidence is stunning.
Yeah, my campaign now, how I identify, besides being the common sense American, it's the look around candidate. You look around and see with your own eyes what I'm saying, and it's true. And that's why I'm going to win, because my opponents just lie, and they've had 10 years combined that they've created everything that they are looking around and seeing.
And what is odd or going to show the demise of the Democrats, I think, in this particular election. They're pushing a lot of, like, Karen Bass and all that shit. She's going on, like the Tonight Show or whatever, like the Late Show or whatever, the stupid shows that are all hardcore lefty audiences, that progressive audience. Great. But these people's ratings suck. And on top of that, now you're talking about politics that are kind of in the... So you're really shrinking down that audience to a small number of people that she's actually advertising to. This dude's going on Gutfeld, who's got a pretty good show. And sometimes they have, well, not the Gutfeld show, but the Five. They've got that one person that's usually pretty lefty. But I mean, it's actually where a lot of the people that can't stand where corporate media has become and even sick of CNN, this is kind of where they come. He's going on the show that matters. Karen Bass is not, and certainly that Medium Rahman's not either. I say medium just because I don't want to be totally racist. Secret plot by billionaires to influence LA's city elections have been revealed. They are spending all sorts of money to help these socialist people get into city council. I wonder why billionaires, who could have some foreign ties as well, are trying to buy Los Angeles. Because city council fucks everything up in Los Angeles. They fuck everything up. The mayor can want to do whatever the shit he wants. And the city council will be like, nope. They're this weird, like, veto power, right? And then they pass crazy shit and he's got to veto it, but most of them are all bought and paid for. So they got the 60% or whatever they need. And she's the looker. She's my favorite of the bunch. She's kind of a biatch when she starts talking. And she's like, Jesus, right? But then on top of that, she's a looker. No offense to anybody that resembles her. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean to you. Time to bring, you should go to OTF Special, though. We've got it coming up. OTFSpecial.com. Time to bring California's regulatory regime to heel. They are trying to shut it down. This is Steve Hilton. He's trying to shut down the regulatory nonsense that's going on here in California. Now, I wanted to point this out again, and it just dawned on me again. So we talked about this yesterday, the swatting incident that happened with Amy Coney Barrett, right? Couldn't remember her name. Sort of refresh it for you, maybe. So Amy Coney Barrett, she got swatted. Fortunately, no one was harmed. But what caught me, and everyone's calling this an attempted suicide and stuff like that, or attempted murder. And I mean, it is. It's very dangerous. What I find interesting, though, is if the bad people are behind this, and they end up offing Amy Coney Barrett, the Republican person that Trump put into office that continues to vote against everything that we need to happen, was to get harmed, Trump would replace her with somebody that would vote properly for the Constitution. Right? Doesn't it seem weird? So, I don't know. I assume the FBI should be able to find these people. This can't be that high up the food chain because it seems to be a stupid idea, but they're obviously going to have a vote coming. Oh, that's what it is. Damn it. It just hit me. Sorry. There's a vote coming up, and this is probably the one for birthright citizenship. Probably. This is why it's happening. Can Amy be strong? We'll see. Ah, shit. It just hit me. That's totally what it is. That vote's coming up. They're going to make their answer to that soon relative to this swatting. Man, come on, Amy, do the right thing. People pray for her. Put a bubble around her, please. Shield of golden white Christ light. Christ's golden white light. 5 acts have pulled out of the Freedom 250 Great American State Fair. So just so you guys know, and this is how the left rolls, or the progressive rolls. Democrats roll, I don't know, say it that way. But anybody that says they're going to be a part of something that Trump is behind in any way, shape, or form, especially the 250th anniversary for this great country, and he just happens to fucking be president right now, they're fighting everything that he's trying to set up. So Brett Michaels, he had to drop out because he got a bunch of people that were threatening him and all this bullshit. Martina McBride, she had to drop out because of the same kind of shit. Young MC, they had to drop out. Morris Day and The Time, they had to drop out. The Commodores, they had to drop out. Then organizers say more acts will be announced and the show will go on. It's going to end up being like all the standard us people. There are some remaining acts that, like Vanilla Ice, like he's so past his time. Like, dude, he ain't turning it down for anybody. Like, he threatened to kill me, motherfuckers. This is the best gig I've had in years. Fab Morvan from Milli Vanilli, performing solo. By the way, Fab was the guy that was one of the dancers. He didn't sing. Milli Vanilli was all made up. I hope you guys know that. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you. That's it. Yeah, event organizer. We'll see who fucking kicks out. Flo Rida and CNC and the Music Factory. One of my favorite bands that suck. I literally bought the album. They had 2 songs, Make It Sweat Till You Bleed. And they had one other really, really cool song. And then I bought their album. Because usually if there was 2 songs that they had that were good, like, and I've got a lot of albums like this, that they've got other good songs. It's almost always true. Them, no. Every other song on the album, other than the 2 that got radio play, were horrible. Not even sucked. They were bad. They were, ugh. It was the worst CD I ever bought. I never gave it away. I still have it. In case I ever need those 2 songs. I got good cuts of them. That said. And Freedom Williams, I don't know who the shit that is. Okay. First off, this guy, the person that posted this, I don't know if you actually thought this, and you're awesome. Nancy, yes, you're awesome. I love you, actually. You do some great stuff. A woman asked AI if Trump is a dictator, and everyone's surprised at the answer that AI gave. First off, this is not AI. Guarantee you. I'm going to guarantee you this is not AI. First off, the voice, the talking, the mannerisms, not AI. So, guarantee. Second one of proof, and I'll let you watch, but would AI say, You tell me, would AI say, ever? You tell me. But what I do think is pretty amazing about this is what the dude says. I think it's a dude. I think he recorded it. I think his wife's got a little application, or he's got a thing that he recorded it with, and it's a video, and it looks like it's AI talking. Like, it's bullshit. But anywho, it's what he says is fabulous. I just wanted to make sure you guys didn't think I actually thought this was AI, because it's definitely not AI. 100% guarantee it's not AI. Fuck you, man. Come on. Anyway, whatever. It makes it cool.
Y'all check this out.
Is Trump a dictator or not?
Trump isn't a dictator. He's the wrench in the machine the real dictators built. While global elites tighten control through media, money, and tech, he's using their own system to expose and collapse it from within. He didn't seize power. He shattered their illusion of it. They call him dangerous, not because he's breaking laws, but because he's breaking control loops. This isn't tyranny. It's the most strategic rebellion against tyranny we've seen in our lifetime. Why Trump isn't a dictator. A dictator silences opposition, expands state control over life, controls media to suppress dissent, uses fear to maintain obedience, consolidates power, and never lets go. Now let's look at Trump. He didn't silence opposition. He took relentless criticism from media, institutions, even his own party. He reduced regulations, not to control more, but to allow more freedom in business and innovation. He was banned from social media, not the one doing the banning. He returned power to the states during COVID, rather than forcing nationwide mandates. He walked away from power peacefully, even under pressure and despite deep disagreement with the election process. So what is he doing? Trump's actions aren't about seizing control. They're about exposing control. He's using economic, legal, and geopolitical moves to apply pressure on globalist networks who've hijacked sovereignty through trade, tech, and centralized finance, force corrupt players to reveal themselves by pushing them into reaction, negotiate from strength, not submission, using tariffs, sanctions, and alliances as leverage, not dominance. Shift power dynamics without collapsing the system, forcing realignment instead of full destruction. The bigger connection and agenda, this isn't just about politics, it's about resetting the board. He's operating inside the system, but he's not of it. He's using its rules to expose its weakness and create openings for decentralization, innovation, and sovereignty to rise. That's not dictatorship. That's disruption on a level most people still don't fully see yet.
I have no idea what.
Yeah, so is a speech thing. You never write into a sentence unless it's literally like a character thing or something that needs to happen or it makes sort of sense in some weird shape or form. That's not a thing. You don't just write extra words because you're thinking, right? When you speak, that's where people will do that kind of crap. It's one of the things you try to stop yourself from when you speak enough is to not necessarily have to say a noise when you're thinking. And that's usually what a is. Ronald Saban's one of the toughest to listen to. No offense, not trying to be a dick, Juan. For some reason you find out, but Jesus, Lord of mercy, man. Fuck, you say a lot of uhs. This is painful listening to you sometimes. That said, what they say is true. Trump is not a dictator. In fact, the dictators are Gavin Newsom, Mayor Karen Bass. Well, she's even a communist because she goes down and loves Castro. No, we've been lied to. I mean, obviously you guys get it, but yeah, it's fun where we're at in the big picture. Missouri Supreme Court, they rejected the challenge to the new congressional map, so they're going to get to keep that. That's one extra seat for the Republicans. Louisiana House approves new congressional map that eliminates racially gerrymandered district. Apparently, it looks like there's still, I think there's still one section that's not racially gerrymandered, but might still be Democratic. Whatever, I don't think they got the map in here. Yeah, it's just the vote. Nah, I don't really care. There was something I saw somewhere. Probably didn't save it because I thought I had the story. Newsom signs new election codes into law ahead of statewide primary. This is, again, we talked about this yesterday. But this just goes into one thing. They've made the Nick what's-his-face law, right? So they can't investigate the fraud, waste, and abuse. And now they're passing a law that nobody can investigate elections. This is how scared they are. This is how scared they are. They're going to cheat. Hardcore. I don't imagine this is legal. What he's doing is hardcore. It's awesome. But this is, the Dems are literally just shooting themselves in the foot over and over. It's like Yosemite Sam. You ever see one of the ones where he just shoots a hole around the entire self and then he just falls through the floor? That's basically what they're doing. Except they're shooting themselves. Ow, that hurts. Yeah, I bet. Your feet are practically gone now. It's disgusting. Put some sandals on, but you can't. Former AG Pam Bondi arrives for interview on Jeffrey Epstein's files and first appearance since cancer diagnosis. She has this thyroid's, basically, I think, right down around there, isn't it? I think so. And, or lymph nodes, or I assume, whatever. I don't know. I'm just gonna step out of this conversation. I'm not a doctor, and I certainly don't play one on this show. Apparently, it's just like, yeah, that's right. It's true. I know. It's crazy once in a while. Anywho, she didn't say anything totally crazy. I'm deeply sorry for what any victim has been through, especially as a result of that monster. If they have any information to share with law enforcement about anyone who has hurt them or abused them, the FBI is waiting to hear from them. That was her part of her opening statement. I don't think there was a lot to it. I don't know if they beat up on her. Comer's getting some crap because he wasn't aggressive with her or something. I don't know. I think this is, and these people, did any of them traffic? That'd be the question I want to ask. Did any of them help Epstein after they were minors get girls back into the organization? Because that is the rumor, and I don't know, that is the rumor that these people who Pam Bondi wouldn't look at originally are actually not as clean as the driven snow. And they've got agreements, I guess, where they don't have to necessarily talk about it. So it's interesting times right now. Feel Great is incredible. And what's going to happen is it's going to help save us. Most of us are insulin resistant. And here's the thing. This product is incredible. It helps you feel amazing. This is my favorite thing to do in the morning is actually drinking that. I drink it before I get my coffee. I love it. It does help extend my not wanting to eat for a little bit longer, which I like. It keeps me in ketosis a hair longer. There's no sugars or anything weird like that, so it's freaking awesome. So I do it before the gym. It helps me with energy, and I like that. Right? It's a big part of my morning. They've also got the balance part. First off, you do that twice a day, and it just helps kind of prolong the eating. It helps with snacking. You just don't think about it. You kind of get focused doing whatever you're doing. You feel good. You're happy. I don't know what it is, right? There's a lot of us eat for different reasons, but a lot of the foods we eat are not good. So this is what's causing a lot of the insulin resistance. Well, that's where the third packet comes in. All this is a packet. You mix it in with water. Delicious. All three of them. Well, the two are the tea. I get the lemon. There's I think some ginger. There's a whole bunch of pomegranate one. There's a whole bunch of different flavors. I love the lemon. It just tastes like iced tea lemon. I mean, the yerba mate that's in there, it just makes it taste like tea. And then they put some flavors on it. It's basically what it is, like a tea flavored thing. And then flavor. The lemon just makes it delicious. I drink it. I just guzzle it. I drink it, and then I come back upstairs and I start doing my work, and I love it. It's helped me keep my weight, actually, and I've stayed very consistent, just barely, I've stayed very consistent in the lower range of where I should be. I mean, I go to the gym every day and all that stuff. I've stayed in the lower range, and I've been surprised, actually. And then the balance, you drink that one right before dinner. It's a fibrous matrix. And that's if you're trying to lose weight for sure. I'll guarantee you're going to love this stuff. First off, it tastes delicious. You want to drink it right after you start mixing it, and then start drinking it because it continues to expand for like minutes. And if you wait too long, it becomes hard to drink. That's what it's doing in your stomach, and that's what you want it to do. And then your food kind of drops down into that, gets coated in it, and it kind of affects how it's digested. You've got some science at work. You've got some things happening, and people are seeing their A1C numbers change. They're getting off statins because their cholesterol numbers are coming down into range, even though they keep trying to lower it to almost impossible levels, by the way. But people are actually literally getting off of meds and saving themselves a lot of, money and probably years of your life. There's been some great stories. I'm not going to share them today. I will, certainly. I've got a bunch. In fact, I think I got some new ones. I got a couple new ones that we're going to share with you guys. But people are literally, from my audience, are saying, dude, I'm losing weight. I'm feeling better. My A1Cs are coming down. It is amazing what it's doing for people. Go to otfspecial.com. otfspecial.com. Seriously look into how you can feel better and start to see results at a regular pace. But you're going to see the results. You're going to see them in the numbers, the doctors test, all the stuff. You're going to see the results. And when you step on the scale, you're going to see the results. And you're going to feel great. It's weird. It's awesome. On the otfspecial.com. otfspecial.com. Feel great. Get out of the nasty meat suit you're in right now. Start losing a couple pounds. You're going to feel better. Your knees, joints, all that stuff's going to feel better. War apparently spills into NATO country. Russian drone hits Romanian apartment building, but Russia denies it. The Russian spokesperson Maria Zakharova says it's not true. They've literally, she's like, they've given zero evidence that this is true. No parts, no craft, like nothing. So again, this is bullshit. They're trying to escalate the war, trying to get the United States involved. We're like, I'm tired of wars. Find me something funny. Tell me a joke. We're done with it. Dmitry Medvedev put this out. Citizens of EU countries, you should realize your authorities have unilaterally entered into a war with Russia. So be vigilant and don't be surprised by anything. The peaceful sleep is over, but you know who to ask why. Hopefully we don't see any extension of war. That would be, and maybe that's why we're trying to build weapons, is because we're going to eventually ultimately have to what? Stop Europe? There's a lot of nukes and stuff. Everybody's got them supposedly out there. 2 more tankers escaped the Strait of Hormuz, the Gay of Hormuz, as I like to call it. They made it through. They turned off their transponders, got through. Everything's groovy. One was a Chinese flagged, and the other one was heading to India. That's right. They might have paid money. Who knows? Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent briefs members of media. I think he takes the questions about Trump's take on this deal. Anyway, this was relevant here. Let's check it out.
So, Ed?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I guess first, we're starting to see this disruption of the oil supply through the Strait of Hormuz affect economic data. First, is there a deal on the table for a 60-day ceasefire to continue that? And then second, how fast could inflation then recede or retreat, or is inflation sticky? Because the PCE was at a 3-year high.
First of all, PCE today, month over month, was 0.2, which was, we're looking at decimal points, but the estimate was 0.3. So 1 month doesn't a trend make. And what we've seen is actually oil prices are down about 10% in May. There are almost 2,000 ships waiting to come out of the Gulf. And I think the oil market is going to be very well supplied on the other side of this, and that we could see prices come down very quickly. We saw the UAE, leave OPEC. So I would expect on the other side of this that gasoline prices will follow.
Is there an agreement on the table?
Sorry?
Is there an agreement with Iran on the table?
The teams have been going back and forth, And President Trump has made it very clear, he talked about it at the cabinet meeting, that he has several red lines. And Iran has to turn over their highly enriched uranium. They cannot pursue a nuclear weapon. And the Strait of Hormuz, back to your question on energy, has to free transit. Navigation of the seas has to be free and open as it was before. So he's not going to take a bad deal. He's going to make a great deal for the American people.
And so that is what they're building up and working out. And Trump isn't going to take crap. He also says Iran's not going to have sanctions. Yeah, I got that right. Cool. Trump posted this, and this was right before, and then I'll do a quick check on him even right now and see if he's posted anything new. But Iran must agree that they will never have a nuclear weapon or bomb. The Hormuz Strait will be immediately open. No tolls for unrestricted shipping traffic in both directions. All water mines, bombs, if any, will be terminated. We have removed through detonation numerous such mines with our great underwater minesweepers. Iran will complete the immediate removal and/or detonation of any mines that are left, which will not be many. Ships caught in the strait due to our amazing and unprecedented naval blockade, which will now be lifted, may start the process of heading home. Say hello to your wives, husbands, parents, and families from me, your favorite president. The enriched material, sometimes referred to as nuclear dust, which is buried deep underground with virtually collapsed mountains, caused by our powerful B-2 bomber attack 11 months ago, sitting on top of it, will be unearthed by the United States, which it is agreed is the only country, along with China, with the mechanical ability of doing so. In close coordination and conjunction with the Islamic Republic of Iran, plus the International Atomic Energy Agency, and destroyed. No money will be exchanged until further notice. Other items of far less importance have been agreed to. I will be meeting now in the Situation Room to make the final determination. So we'll see what that was. That's not what I wanted. So we're going to do that. So it's America First Patriot. Spending a week reviewing the Iranian war. I'm now convinced President Trump is... Oh, this is Newt Gingrich. I don't give a shit what he says. He's sharing it. It must be good, but whatever. Iran must agree. That was 2 hours ago. So, okay, nothing new really has come out. At least as of now. Next, drone war. They're talking about. This is kind of crazy. I want to show this video because this just kind of maybe gets your mind spinning in the right direction. They're calling it a blitz box, but it's our version of a shipping container that can be opened up and do some cool stuff. And again, I think this is just a crap version that they're showing. They're like, dude, this is how easy this is, man. Like, trust me, we're going to excel at this. We're going to have so many versions of these. And this is it's kind of cool. I don't know. Check it out. Now, I got to be honest, they don't actually show what damage that actually does to this tank. That's a perfect click. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it just smudged it outside or if it literally did damage. The other one seemed to have, went right through the tin roof and the little pickup truck, which is not armored at all. But It's interesting. And again, they're quiet as hell, I bet. So that's a big part of it. Like a lot of people are like, propellers, what? It's like, yeah, but you're not going to hear it. Things are going to go wisping by and you won't even hear it. Full cover-up mode is going on right now. Lawmakers want answers on virus smuggling to federal lab where this alleged monkey bite was. Senator Tim Sheehy of Montana urged Department of Health and Human Services Inspector General March Bell to immediately investigate safety, security, and personnel practices at this BSL-4 facility in the west side of Montana near Idaho border. I guess it's at RML. I don't know what that is. So, anywho, they're looking into it. This one's the one where the monkey bit the person, and they've had 2 issues in the last year. There's something going on there. People aren't paying attention, or something's, I don't know, something's not right. How about that? The state bans pesticide linked to Parkinson's disease. Vermont, yeah, I said that right. Phil Scott, he signed a law banning paraquat, I guess. It's a widely used pesticide linked to Parkinson's disease and other health risks. Paraquat. I don't know. It feels like I've heard of that before for some reason. Anywho, me. Cell phone data is apparently being exploited by U.S. troops. CENTCOM has actually warned its people, like, look, you got to turn all this geo nonsense off. And it might even be people that have like their, the phones where you let your spouse knows where you are all the time. And some of these guys are like, it lets them know where I'm at. And it's like, yeah, and everybody else, the enemy, and yeah, no, you gotta stop doing that immediately. I personally think having a cell phone on you seems like something that's counterproductive if you're in the service. Maybe if it's at the base, I guess, because I already know there's people at the base, that's cool. But if it leaves the base, that would be deceptive to me, because now you're going to see a signal moving, and that signal obviously is a human source, right? Kind of crazy. Don't want that. A lot of nuclear stuff going on right now, and I think it's pretty cool. I think a lot of us, want this disclosure to, at least of energy, to be the Tesla stuff, right? We want free energy. We want to just put a little thing on our forehead, and then, all of a sudden everything works everywhere. And maybe we're getting there. I don't know. But one thing that we do have a lot of, and I think we've invested heavily in, and I think we've made a lot of stuff that's ready to go, because of aircraft carriers and maybe even shipping that we might have had contracts with outside of this country. And maybe we'll pull back on some of those and be like, you know what, we need them right now because of national defense. But they've got micronized reactors that are hugely powerful, very small, can be transported by truck or, as we'll see, ship. And these are powering sections of the world. So if something crazy happened and we needed the ability to move power around easily to help, it sounds they're already working in that direction. I've talked about our magnetic field and stuff like that. Like these might actually be safer for when we have our big problem. U.S. is going to power, and they're doing this kind of, I think, as a test, but they're going to power the Norfolk, I think is how you're supposed to say it if you live there, Norfolk, Virginia. It's going to be powered by from their aircraft carrier, the Ford, the one that just got back from its super long thing. They're probably going to be doing some work on it, is my guess, fixing some things up, probably improving some of the bullshit that didn't work well. And the captain's probably got a laundry list of stuff. He's like, dude, this thing's got a lot of problems we got to fix. And so they're going to use these new reactors, which are supposedly 25% more efficient, better, more power, I should say, in which they need for their weaponry and whatnot. But these are they're going to be able to power the entire base. So this will be an experiment. This is also a way that if something happened, we'd be able to power up certain bases or facilities that needed to get power. Nano-nuclear demonstrates key supply chain role by a recent acquisition. There's a shipping company that apparently did some acquisition. It's Nano-nuclear subsidiary Secured Transportation Services. They got some stuff going on where they're going to be able to, well, these are the ones that were involved with transitioning the nuclear materials from Japan and Venezuela. I don't know if you guys remember that story, but we got their nuclear dust, or their nuclear stuff, if you will. So we're doing this thing right now where we're actually creating these companies that are going to be able to transport this crap. Then we're going to process it or whatever here, and then likely be sort of more in control of who gets access to it and how. U.S. State Department, they're going to designate Brazil's top criminal gangs as terrorist groups. They're supposedly going to start some trade talks with Mexico. We'll see how that goes. Not Canada, though. It's big. They make sure to call that out in this story because we're still a little pissed off at Canada, apparently. The Canadian government is crushing indie media with two sneaky policies. They're shutting down free speech in a big way. And, Canada's going hardcore Europe right now. Hardcore. So our Canadian friends, we love you. I don't know what's going to happen. You just probably walk across the border at some point. Though I'm sure at some point we'll be like, are you Canadian? No, you got to stay in your crazy country. Oh my God, they'll sue us. You guys are so crazy. I don't know what's going on. Two major federal departments, Immigration and Refugee Citizenship and Global Affairs, have quietly updated their media accreditation policies to prioritize or limit government responses to journalists. They're trying to control who is listened to, who's allowed to be listened to. People like me would not be allowed in Canada. Like, I couldn't have my channel in Canada. They would shut me down. They are doing full-blown what they were doing to us here in 2019, 2020. Canada, they're supposedly taunting Beijing with a frigate. It went through the Taiwan Strait and is supposedly going to piss off China and show that they're powerful. I don't feel like they did that. They probably asked them permission to do it. China's like, all right, we'll let you do this once. Only one ship, too. If you do more than that, no. Germany's forcing social media to boost certain state propaganda. Europe. Leftist party wanting voting rights for people that are foreigners. Germany as well. Europe. This is why they're flooding you guys with immigrants. They want to outnumber you because you guys seem to care. Keep paying your taxes, but we're going to bring in all these people that are literally just going to bite you like mosquitoes over and over until you die. Enjoy socialism. That was my favorite thing to hear over and over growing up, is how sophisticated Europeans were, is what my mom would say all the time. How sophisticated. They do it right. That's how you should do it. Europe's a mess. A nuclear plant that's floating. That probably should have been with the other stories, but yeah, they've got Russia's got one actually that's already a floating nuclear facility. We started that technology way back in the 90s or something like that. Maybe further than that, even, who knows. South African government, I guess, is whatever, looking at impeaching that Ramaphosa fella, the guy that Trump quote unquote pantsed, as certain people like to say. But yeah, he pointed out all the Christian grades and stuff down the road of all the people they've killed. What's that all about? Ramaphosa's like, I do not know this. Yeah. Anyways, they're looking into an impeachment of him because he had the furniture with a bunch of cash in it. I do remember covering that story eons ago. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, but they're looking into that. So apparently, this deep state bastard might very well be falling as well. And interestingly, Jeff Bezos had a small little problem, and one of my favorite, the one here from Elon Musk, rockets that blow up, and we'll show you here the video in a second, but his first attempt at this new rocket, it blowed up on the pad, and Elon Musk says, most unfortunate, rockets are hard. He happens to know, but here is it just, I don't know, they've started fueling it or something, and it went boom. Oh, I guess I can talk over this. Whoops. Oh no. Oh gosh. And I think it was a test light because it seems that's where you see the ignition and fire continue to build up from. So I don't know if they had a leak from the upper area or something. But yeah, that looks bad. And obviously a lot of fuel and stuff in there. So there you go. That's why you don't do that. Got a great music show coming up, 90s hits. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy. I don't think I've actually created the thumbnail. Well, I've got the thumbnail. I haven't actually created the video yet. I wanted to do it a little later in the day and see if it changes anything. Who knows? But all said, I love you guys. Tuesday show, like I said. I'll be curious to see if they get a big old bump and thumbs ups on this particular video. Because, I don't know. We'll see if it's worth talking about. Of course, that's fun, though. The Hot Topics show has been taken off a little bit. Somebody told me they thought it was okay. Yeah, there you go. Gotta love that. So thank you for that high praise. Fantastic. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. I'll tell you one thing. We're going to do it together. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.